Last time on Square Roots, Yosuke takes a short break from his gay panic to indulge in some fat phobia. Chie and Yukiko are the worst cooks in Japan, and Shadow Rize reveals all her insecurities on the Midnight Channel. Later, Teddy delivers an unbearably strong attack. All that's left is a grisly scene. Ursa major destruction. Sun bear-leavable.
Step on up to the plate. Meet your fate. Walking straight on into the lion's lair. Step on up to the plate. 'Cause this ain't no game. It's time to make history here.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots. I'm your host, Johnny Brandon, because, as mentioned before, Big Chungus has destroyed Jim's laptop, a story that sounds ridiculous, but is true. With me, as always, is everyone's favorite co-host, Matthew Van Zandt.
Hey, it's me, Matthew Van Zandt. Hello. Hello, John. Hello, audience.
And also with me is the secret best co-host, Vanessa.
It's not a secret. Hello, I'm Vanessa.
On this podcast, we play a classic RPG, one chunker at a time. Right now, we're playing Persona 4 Golden, although Persona 4 will pretty much be the same, so you can play whichever one you like. And this is Chunker 4, as you probably saw in your RSS feed. That's a hard word to say.
In your arse.
RSS.
Oh, wow. Is my stepfather hosting this podcast, or what's going on?
I don't know what that means.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
But I think you're great.
He's
Calling you
casting
old.
aspersions on the level of my humor.
No. I was making fun of John for talking like an old man.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of me
Like
for going
RSS
blue.
feeds. Like, you know, how the internet used to work back in the 90s.
Matthew, here is a Werther's original. Thank you very much for that hilarious joke. And Vanessa, here's one for you too, because I don't want you to feel left out.
Oh, thank you. It's very important to treat both your grandchildren equally.
So on this classic RPG podcast, we like to level up to sort of say how our week went, as if you're a first-time
But
listener.
before we do that, John.
Yes, friend.
We have a statement from our co-host.
Oh, okay.
Jim Banks. Now, there has been some discussion about why Jim has had to send us a statement. Is he in jail? Is this his last will and testament? We have not opened it until this moment, so we'll see what it says. Dear fellow hosts, what a long, strange journey it's been, right? Haha, just kidding. Matthew said he was going to talk about Dr. Sleep, which I am. So I will say this about it. It's a decent movie based off of a shitty book, so that probably makes it even better. 2 kind of enthusiastic thumbs up, I guess. Man, isn't Persona 4 great? I love it so much, but I find myself gravitating towards certain characters more than others. For example, I love spending time at the rest stop and helping the old man talk about the glory days of the Inaba glory hole. I love romancing Darla, the cheerleader who gets constant diarrhea anytime she goes outside. And who could forget little Nanako, a character I've only been told about, but I'm pretty sure is fake and not even in the game. Anyway, guys, sorry I can't be there. To all of our listeners, sorry you have to put up with this toilet of an episode for another week. Jesus.
Oh, God.
Your boy will be back next week with the goods. I love you.
It really
Signed, Jim Banks.
It really sounds like he's playing either Darkseid 2 or The Harvester.
The sad irony of this letter is that Jim actually has been playing the game this time.
Yeah.
Like, enthusiastically and in a timely manner.
It's true.
It didn't say anything about Chungus in there.
That's, well,
Or
Chungus
who gets
is
the
dead to
house.
us.
It's not in his name. Oh, no, it is, because we want to do that weird tax dodge. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, as John mentioned, we probably should move from that great letter from Jim Banks straight into the level up segment. And if you don't mind, I'll kick us off because I watched a movie called Dr. Sleep.
Ooh.
It's unfortunate that Jim's not here because I didn't actually watch it alone. All of us watched Dr. Sleep.
Yay!
Mm-hmm. It was Square Roots House movie night.
It was. And we're going to talk about it, I guess. So, I thought Dr. Sleep was okay at best. I don't think we want to get into like heavy spoilers for it because who knows who's seen it. But John and Vanessa, you watched it too.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your 10-star review.
I am not that attached to The Shining as a film. I recognize that it is a good movie, but it's not in my top 10 or anything like that. However, I realized in watching Dr. Sleep how much I like the score from it. For listeners who are not familiar, Dr. Sleep is the story of grown-up little Danny Overlook, who has
Torrance.
grown all the
Come
way
on.
up after...
Now played by Cum Gutters McGregor. I mean, Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, I never expected Danny Torrance to be a character who I would develop an attraction to, but then they go and cast Ewan McGregor, and what am I supposed to do? So now I'm like sitting here red rumming all over the place.
I'm kind of imagining if they gave him the Danny Torrance wig. Can you imagine that? And
Like the bowl cut.
yep.
Hey, Vanessa, why don't you red rum one out while John tells us what he thought about the movie Dr. Sleep?
God.
Okie dokie.
So I have a few thoughts. As I think The Shining is maybe one of my favorite movies, and I love the book as well. So I sort of come at.
Interesting.
I have not read Dr. Sleep. I think that this movie, it does kind of violate the. I forget which critic said. I feel like it was Roger Ebert or something. Says don't reference a better movie in your movie.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of weird going back and having like there's straight up a job interview scene that's in the exact same location as the job interview scene from The Shining. There's lots of returns to it, so like they reshot whole scenes with different actors, which was a weird choice, I thought.
That really stuck in my craw and kind of pushed me into being like, this isn't very good.
There's one.
Just don't do it because they're not going to be better than the actual cast was, and it's just going to pale in comparison. Like, you're just asking for me to be like, not as good.
I was trying to figure out, because the person who was playing, well, I guess this is a bit of a spoiler. So, well, how about let me put it this way. I really like, did you notice that it was the kid from E.T. playing one of the returning characters from The Shining?
I didn't realize it was him at all.
But I haven't given my review of the movie yet. I thought it felt like 5 episodes of a Stranger Things type TV show. It was too long, probably. It was not scary, but there is one torture scene in the movie that I felt could have been cut out and would not have changed anything. It was super just awful and unnecessary.
There's just like a saw scene in the middle of the movie, and it's like really cruel and not necessary. It doesn't make the movie scarier. It doesn't up the stakes. It just kind of makes you uncomfortable, and it's like what is this, some fucking student film?
They could have cut it, because even the Saw movies don't have that type of character in it. Like, they don't do that to that sort of person in the Saw movies.
Yeah.
To that classification of human.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm talking around it. And it added nothing to the plot. And the movie would have been fine if they just sort of like hinted. It would have been scarier if they hinted at it, I think, rather than showed it. Because don't show that. No.
Yeah. So what is your review so that I can give mine and we can wrap this up?
I haven't even given my review yet.
Okay, well,
I just
I'll give it
one thing about the film.
I'll give it 6
Lord.
thumbs up. What about you, Vanessa?
I liked Rebecca Ferguson in it. That's all I really want to say about it. You may know her as woman from Mission Impossible who looks like all the other women in the Mission Impossible films because they only cast one type. But she is the current paramour.
Is she Dr. Sleep?
She's Rose the Hat.
Who's Dr. Sleep?
He's Dr.
Danny's
Sleep.
Dr.
Yeah,
Sleep.
Ewan McGregor.
He is?
Yeah, because he's called
Yes.
Doc.
Wait, why is he called Dr. Sleep, though?
Because he's sleepy.
We didn't write it, John. We don't know.
Was it because he helped those patients die?
I don't think so. I thought that, yes. So Dr. Kevorkian, is that who we're talking about?
Was the cat evil?
Cats are always evil. All cats are evil.
Should we mention that Jim is blowing up our text right now, saying that he is currently watching the 3 hours director cut of Dr. Sleep?
Oh, he's also
Yeah.
saying that he purchased the cat poster for the first Nightmare on the Elm Street movie with the cat on the trolley in San Francisco, which I want to get that one too because it's amazing.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, one thing
anyway,
I will
well-
say about Dr. Sleep, you know how there's a cat in it?
Yeah,
And
one I said
it
was
sits
evil.
on it's not evil. It just sits on people's beds when they're close to the end of their life.
Yep.
That's based on a real cat,
I
y'all.
know.
I read that article a while ago.
I know.
They theorize that it's because ill people's temperatures raise, and then the cat is interested in being warm, so it sits on those people. Or perhaps there's more activity in the rooms. I don't know.
Or
Cats, man.
the cat has The Shining, which this movie. Well, actually, they never go out and say it, right? That the cat has like some kind of telepathy.
How can a cat have The Shining?
Why not?
I don't know. I don't really understand what The Shining is. Anyway,
I mean, it's just
I give
it's
it
just like telepathic
6
powers,
stars
right?
out of 10, I guess. It's
6
fine.
stars out of 10.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that it had some pretty good actors. I think everybody does a pretty great job. I liked a lot of the characters. I think it does a decent job of being a thriller, you know? Like, just kind of menacing and slow, and it looks nice. It's well shot, and I enjoyed watching the movie. I do feel like maybe at times the movie really lost me when it tried really hard to be like, hey, remember The Shining? Hey, do you remember The Shining? Particularly towards, some climactic parts of the movie. I was very like thrown off by it and kind of like, this was unnecessary and like way too much. And you know what? I preferred the Shining scene in Ready Player One to the Shining scene in the Shining sequel.
I did like Carl Lumbly as a Scatman Carruthers character. Dick Hannaran?
So it's like a 2 out of 4 stars. I'm going to do my own number.
You
of
told me to
stars.
go out of 10.
Yeah, I did. I'm going to give it 2 out of 4 stars. It's okay. Like, watch it if you can see it. Don't go out of your way. Dr. Sleep. Everybody. Does anybody else have stuff that they want to additionally level up with?
I do.
John, why don't you go ahead and talk about what you want to talk about?
So I started watching The Clone Wars. And I had not seen any of the Clone Wars except for that little, like they did like a TV movie, like 3 episodes strung together into a movie with a gay Jabba the Hutt. And it was terrible. So I thought the show was like that. But
Yeah.
it's much more like hard Star Wars, like lots of stuff about the clone troopers and how their society works, and people die in it, which I was very surprised about. That it was, I thought it was going to be like Paw Patrol or really goofy like adventure cartoon, but it is pretty, it's like a pretty good Star Wars story so far.
Yeah.
And
the people that have, I feel like a lot of people that actually have watched it have really loved it.
It's fun. I think it's like the story is on the level of something like Jedi Fallen Order, which I know has some characters from this in it. I think like one of the guys, Jedi Masters is from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, maybe. I only made it about I couldn't finish the first season though. I've heard that it gets really good after the first season, but I felt like the first season
season has bad graphics. Like it looks terrible a lot of the time, which is interesting for like it almost would have been better, I think, to do as an animated show. At least that first season, because it was so early CG. It's 2007 TV CG.
Yeah, it always kind of bugged me actually, because there is a animated version of this, and it's where they got the character designs. A Clone Wars series of shorts that was done by the guy that ended up producing this series or whatever, but the switch to CGI is oogly. It's very ugly.
But apparently it gets better, and so I'll keep
Yeah.
watching. It's been something I can put on while I'm doing dishes and don't super have to concentrate on. So I
Mhm.
like that. Vanessa, what about you? Any other additional level upping?
The only things I've done have been things that we intend to talk about at a later date on the podcast. So I will not discuss them today.
Can I mention though that I did spin kick a racist in that?
I told the racist to fuck off.
I could not. I didn't. I was getting frustrated because it was like the end of day 2 and I hadn't progressed that initial first quest at all. I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm just gonna punch him, and then I lost. But then this guy tells me how to punch him better, and I did that, and then I won.
Nice. Listeners, I'll just go ahead and say it. We are talking about the game Disco Elysium, which we
I haven't
are
really played it yet, so no spoilers.
playing for a future bonus episode. And that's
Yeah.
all I'll say about that, except that I finished it.
And you finished Persona 4. And you're about
And
halfway
I
through
finished
Persona 5.
4. And I am about halfway through Persona 5 Royale because
Wow.
I
It
had
sounds
to
like-
stop playing Persona 4 over and over again.
It
So I
sounds
got
like
Persona 5.
It sounds like Persona has really broken you of the Animal Crossing addiction that has gripped you for the last 6 months
She
or so.
still like posted a ton of screenshots from it today.
Oh, really?
I
I'm
still
not
log
pissed off
on
much.
every day
Mhm.
because it's my duty as the resident representative of my island. But yes, my hourly playtime per day is greatly reduced. Oh, that's one thing I did. I went to a pool party in Animal Crossing that was hosted by a sort of mutual friend of all of ours, Brian Skinner from the Can't We Just Be Friends podcast. His daughter had a swim party Animal Crossing night, and it was super cute and adorable. And the best part of Animal Crossing is you get to play cute, adorable games with cute, adorable children, but they can't actually get to you or touch you with their sticky fingers because they're just online.
I should also mention Vanessa and I had a funny exchange because I think like 4 weeks ago I mentioned how I wasn't gonna buy Tokyo Mirage Sessions until I finished Persona 5. That was my.
Yes, that was your oath,
Then I was like,
your solemn oath.
I have all these points on my credit card. I could cover a purchase, so I purchased Tokyo Mirage Sessions with my credit card
Uh-huh.
points. And then Vanessa's like, "Oh, so that means you finished Persona 5?" And I was like, "Yeah."
It's good. It's different than 4, for sure.
I haven't. I think you might be already farther than me, right? Like I got to I was about to start the 4th. No, nowhere even near starting the 4th palace. Like I just wrapped up in Persona 5 regular.
Yeah, I just finished the 4th palace. I mean, at this point, you might as well just start over with Royal.
I don't want a disc version though, because that's annoying.
Nobody even sells discs anymore.
I don't like changing discs because I'm very lazy. Have to get up, walk all the way to the console,
Oh, man,
take the
yeah.
disc out of a box, put a disc back into a box.
I hear ya, bro. That's rough. And then, like, you have to remember where the disc is.
That sounds fun. Hey, are we talking about Persona?
We're talking about the Midnight Channel.
Oh, it's time for the Midnight Channel.
It is time for the Midnight Channel.
Y'all remember last time we saved Rize from her strip club nightmare?
Yeah. You mean the best part of the game so far? Yes.
Wait, I can't hear you over the sound of my dreams. Could you speak a little louder?
Yeah, I'll turn the music up. Yeah, I don't know if I expressed last time how much I enjoyed the metaphor here of Rize being in the public eye and then struggling with being so much in the public eye and being seen in this like sexualized way and not really being comfortable with it. And so the way she responds to that is to like hypersexualize herself. I thought it was pretty clever.
You know, that is pretty clever. I have to admit, I don't think I looked at it too deeply other than to go, strip club.
Yeah, what?
It's so interesting. I've been playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and that game sort of takes the opposite look at Idols like Idols is fun. Oh, I love being an idol. This is so fun. And it's like the same company that made this game. And one is like showing it as this innocent, fun adventure for girls with ginormous boobs. And the other one is like, oh, this really sucks. And you're leered at all the time. They're both.
Well, I think the struggle for teenage girls often is it's nice to have attention and everyone wants to feel desirable, but you're not really ready for that kind of attention from adult men. And so it's this weird in-betweeny place, you know? It's like, that's why adults are called on to be the ones to exercise restraint in statutory instances, because teenagers can't necessarily make those decisions for themselves because it's too confusing.
Right. They don't understand the implications or the motivations of the people that are doing the attention, giving them the attention.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's interesting to see it addressed, albeit I may be giving it more credit than it warrants, you know, and reading too much into the text, but that's how I saw it, and I liked it.
I'm nodding here. But before we get into...
It's a podcast. You can't just nod along.
Well, I did tell you that I was nodding.
Well, I guess that's true. That counts. And I can see you.
Oh, wow. The mayor of Seoul killed himself.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ugh.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
And you hear about that woman from Glee? What
Yeah.
a cursed show.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah, that was really sad.
It's terrible.
Great, let's talk about that and not this game.
Let's cut that out, though, because it's a little
Cut all that
too
out.
much of a bummer.
Let's cut out the Square Roots News Corner and
Right.
move on to video games.
So Matt made us do this last time, and I think it was a super good idea. Why don't we handle our social links first?
Oh, yeah.
And Matt is eating noodles right now, so we'll let him finish this section. Vanessa, what is a social link you'd like to discuss?
I'd like to discuss everyone's favorite Persona 6 simple, your uncle, Dojima. You know, he's the crunch to Adachi's chew when it comes to the pair of eye candy that this game offers you. He is the grizzly uncle, and he has some issues. As we've discussed, he's sort of a bad dad, gone dad, who just neglects and abandons his daughter all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can spend some time getting to know him. As you do, you find that he has a bunch of clippings of articles about car crashes and specifically hit-and-run accidents. And he sometimes gets phone calls in the middle of the night and then runs out the door. He's like, oh, you have information? Okay. And slowly, he reveals what the listener has probably already guessed, that his wife was killed in a hit-and-run accident, and he has never been able to let the case go. So, much like the titular monk from Square Root's favorite television show, Monk, about Adrian Monk, who searches for the killer of his departed wife. Dojima searches for the killer of Nanako's mother. In doing so, however, he really leads Nanako to believe that she is not important to him. At one point, she asks him to read her a book, and he is working on his clippings, and he's like, we'll do it later, Nanako. And then Nanako's like, when is later?
Oh, that is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
But then, as you go through the social link, you can throw it back in his face when he's like, you know, there'll be time for Nanako later. And then you could be like, well, when is later? And he's like, oh, no, what have I done? Nanako! So that's his struggle. And as everyone knows, a tormented widower just makes it all the more sexy.
Ugh.
Didn't 5 have a character exactly like this?
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't met them yet.
I'm fairly certain that Vanessa
Yeah.
has played the game at least twice.
But John has not. So let's not get into 5 spoilers.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
is it okay if we talk about how that one wraps up?
We could if I remembered,
Oh, okay.
but I don't remember right now.
Okay. No problem.
Besides, give me something to talk about next week. Come on, throw me a bone.
It's true.
Who do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the nurse. There is a part-time job you can take at the hospital. You have to, I think, have some courage or tenderness or whatever to do it. And you start a part-time job at night as a cleaner in a hospital. And you find this hospital, because you are a teenage boy, very, very scary. It's always full of weird, creepy sounds, and it's like, 8 or 9 o'clock at night, so it's always super empty. And there's always feels like there's people watching you, but the rooms are empty, and you never go investigate the crashes and sounds from empty rooms that you hear. And unfortunately, this would be fine. Unfortunately, there is a nurse there. Her name is Sayoko Uehara. And she is, I think she thinks she's working in a 1960s body British sex comedy hospital.
Yeah.
Maybe, but even a little bit more sinister than that.
Every time, yeah, because it doesn't have like the horny sex, like fun time sexy music when she comes in. It plays the something bad is happening music whenever she walks in.
She comes clicking in on her heels and sees the protagonist, and she's like, "Oh, a teenage boy."
Well, I bet I have so many things I could show you if you know what I mean. And then you're like, no, I actually, I don't know what you mean, and I'm not interested. Oh, well, I mean sexually.
Yeah. And the fun thing about her is the more you tell her that you're not interested and don't like what she's doing, the more she does it.
Yeah.
She loves that response.
What happens if you tell her you're super into it then?
I think she gets disappointed.
Oh, okay. Because, yeah, I'm like...
She's looking for an unwilling victim to harass. She is not looking for a partner.
There's actually a big case in, there's a whole lot of problems in Canada's RCMP, the Mounties, and there's a big case right now in my local province of a woman who was like groping and hitting, like sexually harassing what do you call that? Like someone she was the superior of.
An inferior officer?
Yeah,
a junior officer?
Yeah. It is interesting that it doesn't play this as a lot of times, especially anime and stuff, treats sexual harassment from older women to younger men as funny or hot. This is not. This game's like,
no,
she's being bad. She's really freaking you out.
She's like, this is not cool. The protagonist isn't cool with it. Were she a grandma, she would be the horniest of all, I guess.
I don't know.
Although,
there's another character, this chunker.
Yeah, that's true. Come to think of it. And I don't think, again, she doesn't really want to consummate this relationship. She just wants to bother the protagonist and make him uncomfortable.
I think she wants to, and that is one thing about sexual harassment and all that, is that it's about power. And she wants to assert her power over this boy who can't do anything about it because no one would listen.
Yes.
And she knows that. And I think this is, although, I mean, a lot of MRA guys go into this sort of stuff too with, like, oh, but women are just as bad. But I think it's a power thing. Like, if people have...
It is.
If bad people get power, it can lead to situations like this. And sometimes, mostly it's men, but sometimes it's women like this.
As you progress in her social link, and I don't know if you have, so I don't really want to spoil it, but we do start to sort of see the reasons behind this behavior.
Okay, yeah, I haven't got that far. There has been, like, not a sexy grandma, but a spooky grandma who I think might be a ghost you don't know is a ghost.
Oh, yeah, spooky grandma.
And she's there, and she just kind of is like, oh, it's nice to see you, dear. Well, I must be going. I'm definitely not a ghost. Bye-bye!
She's dressed in all black with a black veil over her face, and she does invite you to find her on the floodplains on a sunny day.
Oh.
Should you be so inclined.
Well, I'll have to go look for her, because I want to hang out with spooky grandma.
Spooky grandma!
Matt, do you have a social link you'd like to discuss today?
I can briefly talk about Rize, who I spent a little bit of time with. She very clearly has a crush on you.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's not gotten weird yet, so that's nice. We went to, lunch and chatted a bit, and she does talk a bit about, not wanting to be an idol anymore. You go shopping. She talks about how she's going to buy a one piece, and you can see her in it, and it's, very awkward flirting, I guess. And she gets harassed by some fans and is upset about it. And it happens, I think it says 74 times throughout the day.
Oof.
A reasonable 74, I think.
Sensible 74.
A sensible 74. So, that's it. We spend a little bit of time with Rise.
I do
but
like
that's-
how she's so, she is quick to use her coquettish charms, and Chie is quick to point out when she's doing it. And it's sort of like an admiration way, because Rise is always batting her eyelashes at you and being like, "Oh, senpai, you can walk with me, can't you?" And then Chie is like, "Man, this girl's dangerous. Look at that." It's like Chie totally sees what she's doing.
Yeah. Well, that's all I want to talk about. I want to get into this because we do have a lot to talk about in this episode. So let's talk about it. Did you know that they found another body?
Yeah.
That's right. After saving Rise and battling Shadow Teddy, we depart from the TV and we find another body, right, Vanessa?
That's what happened. And it's such a shocker because we've been saving people, so how can there be another body? So after they take Rise home and get a good night's sleep, they meet up at Junez, and it turns out the body was Maruka!
Oh, no.
King Moron himself, your homeroom teacher.
It's one of those things where someone you don't like dies, and you're like, well, it's still not great, but...
Yeah, they're like, well, we hated him, but he didn't deserve to be murdered.
Right.
This also puts a real wrench in the killer targeting people who appeared on the Midnight Channel theory, because Maruka was never on TV, and he was never on the Midnight Channel, as far as they know. However, they decide that they should go talk to Teddy in the Midnight Channel and find out what's going on.
Now, I don't think Maruka could be... Well, I guess this goes into how Teddy figures out how the Midnight Channel works. I'll go into that as to why Maruka wouldn't have been on the TV then.
Right. But we go down to the electronics department, and unlike usual, there are a bunch of people there.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all a Twitter over the new mascot character who's been walking around Junez.
They're like, #weird, this bear is walking around the store, send tweet.
Yeah. And you look to the right, and there's nothing there. You look up, and there's nothing up there. You look down, there's nothing down there. And then you look to the left, and there, sitting in a running massage chair, is Teddy!
Yay! He's in the real world! Teddy in the real world!
Real Teddy, 3-dimensional. He's poofed up again. Last we saw him, he was flat and doing some sit-ups to get himself in shape, and now he is once again around Roly-Poly Teddy, and he's having a nice massage.
And I love that he explains he did so much work now that he has an inside, and everyone's like, "What? Whatever. What are you doing? How did you get here?"
Mm-hmm. And he's like, "I just came out. You come out all the time. What's your issue? There's a door." And they're like, "Well, I guess it's okay. Everyone thinks that you're just a mascot. So, but let's take you upstairs." They take him to the roof, and he starts to complain that he is just too sweltering hot in his Teddy suit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, before he does this, he does mention for sure he didn't see anyone in the TV, and they keep asking him this over and over, and he gets more and more mad.
Yeah, he's like, no, there was no one in the TV. What's wrong with you? He wants to take his head off to cool off, and
We've seen him do this before, and it
Yusuke-
was real scary.
yeah, Yosuke freaks out. He's like, you can't take your head off. You're gonna traumatize children. But eventually, he just snaps. He throws his head off. And Matt, can you tell us about this experience? Because this was your first time.
Thank you for asking, and let me preface this by saying that I hate Teddy, and that this, for me, is a nightmare. Teddy, in the real world, we're gonna have to deal with shit, and he's, like, having a fucking temper tantrum in the middle of the store. I don't want to deal with this. But Teddy takes off his head, and who's underneath but a beautiful young man with blonde hair and blue eyes and, like, cute sparkles surrounding him.
Yeah, he
Why,
is sparkling like a vampire.
He is sparkling like a vampire.
And he appears to be naked from the waist up, at least. That's all we can see of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he chugs down a soda.
Oh yeah,
And we
like
get
I
a
love
nice
that they did. This is
Yeah.
like an anime cutscene, and he's just like, oh, it's like
Yeah, it's-
super. I like that they're sexualizing him in a way.
Yeah, it's the slow pan.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, that's a good point, John. The
glistening.
sexualization of children is hilarious.
Well, at least okay. You know, I'm not gonna say it.
We don't know how old Teddy is.
He's like a year old.
That's true. So, John, was it you who told me that in the Persona Arena game, when Teddy shows up, another character goes, "Whoa, a white guy."
I've never played it, but it was someone
Okay,
in the
so-
in the comments or something. I think.
Yeah, so Teddy is meant to be a white character, which is unusual for Japan, I guess. Certainly for Inaba. And everyone is shocked, especially the girls. Their mouths are hanging open.
Well, he's so hot and sparkling,
Mhm.
and he.
And then he's like, "Hi, Chie."
How about we score with a hot stud?
Yeah, hi, Yukiko. Enchante. He keeps speaking French.
Which leads to the question: how does he know French?
Maybe he's connected with the kid in Persona 3 who was also blonde and blue-eyed and spoke French.
Ooh. Or like he gets TV signals in the TV station and gets like French TV shows, and that's why he knows all this like pop culture stuff he can bring out.
It's certainly possible.
I like your idea better though.
Yeah. So he does admit that he's bare naked in his suit.
He's like a newborn down there.
Like a newborn down there, he says. And the girls flip out and drag him off to go clothes shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the boys go to get some topsicles.
So they go grab him some clothes. Teddy is super horny, and I hate it. And the fact that you two seem to enjoy it a lot really makes me fucking hate it more. Like, ew. Ew to you both. Ew to this game. Ew, 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 ew.
You know how
And
sometimes
you know what?
people have
At this
to
point,
acknowledge.
Yosuke too. They both just fucking. I can't stand either of them.
You know how people have to acknowledge their problematic hypocrisy, where like they turn a blind eye to someone who's being super problematic. I think me and Teddy and Vanessa and Teddy, like he's being awful, but I'm like, oh, that little scamp. He doesn't know better.
That's true. Maybe it's the voice actor. I just hate his guts. So,
Well, you're not alone. Like, look at half our listener names in the Patreon are teddyisgarbage.com or whatever.
Zero punctuation this week, which would be last week when this episode airs, which I do still watch occasionally. Don't get me wrong. This is not an endorsement.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
He did Persona 4 because it came out on Steam. And, his review was basically just a big fat, like, it's not as good as Persona 5 review, which was a little frustrating to listen to, but also I totally agree with.
I mean, the game is what, 9 years older than Persona 5?
Yeah, part of it's that, and part of it might be that, and not having played this, more towards its time of release.
Right.
But it's also missing just a ton of little stuff from Persona 5 that really I remember being in Persona 3 as well. I feel like they chopped a lot out for this one for some reason.
I think I just like the Scooby Gang mystery vibe so much. Like, this is really a chilling with your friends game in a way that I love.
Yeah. All the Persona games have a ton of chilling with your friends. That's what all of these games are. They're chilling with your friends, the game. Your fake computer friends. So, John, Hat Boy with a hat shows up, and he finally tells us his name. He's Hat Boy.
Mhm.
He wears a hat. What's up with that Hat Boy?
Naoto Shiragane. So we talked before about a boy detective being hired, and Dojima and Adachi.
I love me a boy detective.
Yes, we all do.
Mhm.
I mean, it's the greatest genre.
It is legitimately such a great genre.
Oh, I like.
Party boys.
Or girl
young
detective.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Young
Girl
detectives.
Detectives is my favorite flavor of that. So, Naoto is a boy detective, and he has been hired by the police to investigate. He shows up at Junes and is like, "Hey, I know you guys were like super investigating this, but just FYI, it's weird that Maroka didn't appear on TV. Oh no, is this on the street?"
I think he actually shows up to their meeting at Junes, and he's like,
That's the second
Well,
time. I think the first
okay.
time he like shows up when they're
oh, yeah,
all
he
having
finds
like
them on the
snacks
street.
together.
He's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. He's like, I also agree that it's weird that Maroka was killed because he didn't appear on television. And you're like, what? He knows about our investigations?
He knows something.
But also, Rise shows up, and she is just super happy for what the gang did for them. For her, she's happy that everyone like saved her, and she's never really had friends before.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Hey, you know what? My persona is a weird satellite-headed hot lady. How about we work together, and I will be your advisor because I can like scope out the enemies and give you hot tips and insights."
Yeah, and now that Teddy has a persona, he can fight
Right.
and join the A-team. I like how when they go to see Rise, she's still like really kind of low-key and conservative in her mannerisms, and then she takes them to the shrine and sort of turns her back to them and turns around, and she's like, "Thank you so much, I love you," and like goes into her Rosette persona, and Yosuke's like, "Wow, it just hit me, you really are Rosette, oh my god." Which it's hard to like determine how famous she's supposed to be, but quite famous it seems like.
I would assume like a B tier Canadian. Okay, this is more of a Johnny reference, but like a Canadian famous girl, not like an American worldwide famous girl.
Like someone from S Club.
Yeah, for sure. Or, well, I don't know. Those are S Club people are famous like more outside of the United States and Canada, but they're super famous like in most of the world. But I would say like Alanis
someone who was on Degrassi.
pre Jagged Little Hill Alanis. Or Little Pill
Okay.
Alanis, like when she was doing
Mhm.
Too Hot, or like Mitsu, or Americans don't have that kind of local celebrity in a way that I can totally relate because I think she's as famous as a Canadian celebrity, but Americans don't really have that because they push what is famous in the United States often becomes famous everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
except for things like the Carvel ice cream Cookie Puss.
Oh, or Fudgy the Whale.
I saw an old Cookie Puss commercial, and I really feel like I missed out on something by not having an American childhood.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in a Carvel area, but I'm just old enough to remember when some local bands were sort of a big deal in Seattle, but hadn't breached the city. So I think like bands are the best equivalent.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, like I could talk about the Body Break duo, and that is a local Canadian thing that every Canadian would know. I'm talking about Hal and Joanne from Body Break.
Never heard of them.
Nope. And that's how famous Rise is.
All right. So you head home. Naniko's upset. Dojima's out again. And y'all, can you do this magic trick? Because Yu does a magic trick for her.
He does the finger thumb thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
I
right.
love it so much.
Yeah. It's like the texture is like you grab your thumb in one hand and suddenly you move it and this music plays do 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 do.
It's like this weird Dragon Quest victory music kind of thing.
Mhm. He also does the trick where you like loop the rubber band around your fingers and make it look like it hops to the other fingers.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I used to know how to do it, but I can't remember now.
Huh.
Do 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 do.
Wow.
Then we head back to school, but our teacher is dead. So what happens, John?
Well, we get
No one seems to give a fuck, and they continue to be incredibly cruel, calling him King Moron even as he lays in his grave.
Well, some of the students are like, maybe we won't have to take finals.
Unfortunately, they do.
They do.
There is a new teacher replacing him that Jim mentioned a couple of episodes ago called Mrs. Kashiwagi. And he referred to her as the H'est of the T's for the horniest of the teachers.
Yeah, she is the H'est of the T's for sure. It's crazy.
She
Yeah.
immediately is like, "Oh, hey, everybody, how are you doing?"
Mhm. You must be so happy to have me. And she's real aggro about Rize. She's like, I
She
heard there
is.
was an idol in the lower class. What does she have to offer?
Yeah.
That I don't, which is wild.
And then as soon as she leaves, other people in the class are like, "Oh, what is her problem with Rise? Does she think that she's really competition for her? I heard she's on the wrong side of 40. Screw you, kids. You shut your mouths. You can be a hot and attractive man over 40.
Mhm.
With finals
and she
coming
does
up,
the-
I chose to invest some time in studying, and now I'm the smartest there is.
Nice.
Oh,
That's fun.
I did like that. So Mrs. Kashiwagi's like, "Okay, let's have a moment of silence for Mr. Baroka.
Mhm. Everyone close your eyes.
Everyone close your eyes. Yeah, that's enough."
And when you open your eyes again, the screen goes black. When it comes back up, she's sitting on the desk with her legs crossed in a very alluring manner. And you get like the exclamation point over your head.
I do like that the moment of silence appears to be about 5 seconds long, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, finals next week. You head over to Juness to sort of go over things again, figure out what to do next. And Naoto says, "Hey, there's no need to investigate further. We found a suspect. He's a high schooler. By the way, I'm a special investigator, although we kind of knew that already." And he's like, "Your game's gonna reach its end now. Like, there's nothing more for you folks to do, and you're all super offended." Like Yosuke's like, "It's not a game to us, man. This is real life."
And also they saved people's lives. Like, stop being a fucking asshole, kid.
Well, I think Naoto suspects they did something, but doesn't know that for sure.
Yeah. Naoto's not sure, but Naoto
I mean, even
has
Dojima
noticed.
seems.
Naoto's noticed at least that all the people who have been kidnapped and then suddenly reappear are hanging out together all the time.
Yeah. Naoto's
Yeah,
not a
and
dummy.
they know, even like Dojima knows that people got kidnapped and like that you're hanging out with them. Like, that's not
Yeah.
uncommon knowledge amongst the police.
Right.
But it's still pretty fucking dismissive and shitty.
Yep.
Like, this one knows more, at least. At least Dojima, I understand him being like, "I don't know what you're fucking doing, kid, but knock it off."
At this,
Yeah, but Dojima has sent Adachi to spy on you several times.
is that what happened? I thought
Seems reasonable to me.
I thought
to be
we just
perfectly
like
frank.
randomly ran into
14
Adachi.
years old. No, 16.
Yeah, we randomly ran into Adachi at the store, and then Adachi tells you directly, "I'm just hanging out here. Dojima didn't tell me to come here." So,
Oh, I thought he was
It's
just
a-
sending.
it's a-
See, I thought he was embarrassed because Dojima sent him there to as a gopher.
no, I'm pretty sure that Dojima sent him to spy on these kids.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's interesting.
I'm so stupid that I took what he said at face
Me
value.
too. So Rise and Yosuke really go off. Like, they're almost bullying to Naoto. Like, Naoto was being a jerk, but I kind of felt bad because now Yosuke's like, you're just here because you're lonely, because as soon as your investigation's done, they don't give a crap about you because you're just some contractor. And Naoto's like, it's
Okay.
true. They don't need me anymore.
Okay.
It is kind of sad that as soon as I'm done, they just discard me, but that's just life for a contractor, okay? It's just life for an
Naoto is
investigator.
15 years old.
I'm
They
a
are
boy detective,
bullying
damn
Naoto.
it! Poor Naoto. I kind of like Naoto.
Okay, I do not appreciate the fact that we've started referring to him by name and not Hat Boy the Boy with the Hat,
Sorry.
which is his true name. His name in my heart is Hat Boy the Boy with the Hat.
Yeah.
Please respect my decisions.
That's fine with
or
me.
something, I don't know.
Kanji still gets a little flushed when Hat Boy, the boy with the hat, is around.
He's just super into him, and that's fine, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, finals week. Woo, I got every question right without looking them up because I remember things.
Me too, me too, me too. Although I've been having more trouble with Persona 5. I feel like the questions are harder, or I'm playing it more at night or something. I don't know.
Well, I look
But-
them up every time, like the first time they show up, but when they show up again for the exams, I remember them.
I never look them up. Never, ever, never. But I admit in Persona 5 I was getting a lot wrong in the finals, so I did do a save scum. Nevertheless, I still got a couple wrong and only made top 10 in my class instead of number 1.
I'm still
Shameful.
just doing top 10 because I haven't studied enough, I think.
I was number one.
Ooh.
I was number one.
But
I
I
was
did
number
read
one.
a book on studying, so I'm going to be like study master.
That jump from 4 to 5 takes a lot of study points.
Huh.
Maybe like 25 or something.
Oh,
like a lot.
Gross. So after the exams, everyone heads to Juness. They know that the police have not made an arrest, and they learned this. Okay, so do you think this is Adachi spying on them or Adachi being an idiot?
I think this is just Adachi being Adachi.
Because he walks in, he's like, hey kids, how's it going? Oh, you know me, work is hard. Oh, we gotta find this missing suspect. We can't charge him if we can't find him. Whoops.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, me and my big mouth. Oh, Adachi.
Damn it, Adachi, you did it again.
And then he walks off and all of the kids are still just like stare at him. They're like, why is Adachi always here? Why?
And meanwhile, Rise still super into the hero. And Teddy, oh yeah, so we didn't mention it before, Teddy now is staying with Yosuke. And
Yeah.
there's no more explanation. I guess, like, you assume Yosuke came up with an excuse, like, oh, this is an exchange student.
Yeah. Because they're like, well, where's Teddy going to go? And they're like, oh, he can go live with Yosuke. I assume that Yosuke's house is just so big that his parents
Yeah.
don't even really notice.
Oh, so it's sort of like an 11 from Stranger Things kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Teddy is now working without like a social security or whatever the Japanese equivalent of that is. So who knows what the tax situation is. As the official store mascot. And what I
mean, I
love
think
is when they're like, oh, let's go bug Teddy, which is 100% something I would have done if I was, actually I did all the time when my friends were working at
Yeah.
stores. You just go bug them.
Yep. You know, teens got nothing to do.
And Kanchi's like, I want to feel his fur.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
And Teddy's like handing out balloons to children.
Rise, meanwhile, it's like, hey, hang back for a sec. How about we do some special investigating of our own?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. You know, she knows what she wants and she's going for it.
Mm-hmm. And
Why do you always have to be the aggressor in these relationships?
oh, we all know Matthew's like, yep, sure, no problem.
Wait, what?
And that will go out with anyone who asks him.
Well, he like-
I
Listeners,
like
write
going
that
out-
down in your Matt
listen,
journal.
I like raising social links because I like fusing personas with that sweet experience. And I do. I mean, with all these women, there's a line that you have to stop at with them, basically.
like in real life.
Uh-huh.
So Rise, One great advantage that Matthew told me about of pursuing the Risei social link is that once you start leveling her link up, you get more options. Like she starts giving you hints in combat. Like, I think he might be weak against fire or something, right?
Mm-hmm. And she'll also give you like stat boosts occasionally or random healings.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm only at level 2 with her. I've just been trying to finish up the social links I already have before I start new ones.
Dive into Rize.
Yeah.
Not literally.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean-
those bonuses in the dungeons are helpful. Leveling her up does too, and she's just always gains levels. You know, she's not in the party or anything, so that's
right.
a given. I've been using the rainy days and particularly the thunderstorm days to grind the shit out of my characters, so which has been nice, I guess. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have not had any trouble yet with any bosses or not really been party wiped other than like maybe once early on.
Jim and I both got party wiped a lot in the next dungeon for some reason.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Well, speaking of rainy days, you decide to like continue to check the Midnight Channel occasionally, but they're sort of like, I guess they know who did it, so whatever.
Mhm.
Like he's on the lam.
yeah, there's nothing going on.
But they also decide that it's summertime and they should go to the beach with their new scooters.
Well, because I guess this does place it, because I wasn't sure about the age of all the characters, and this establishes that everyone except for Kanji is now 16. I think Risei just turned 16 the other day, or is about to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're all like, "Oh yeah, let's all get our scooter licenses, and we can all drive to the beach." So I guess. So there's this, and there was something else that they're talking about going to the festival later, which hasn't happened yet in the game. Like at the end of this chunker, we still haven't gone to the beach or gone to the festival.
Right.
But-
They just talk about it all the time.
And Yosuke turns to you and says, "Who are you looking forward to seeing in a swimsuit, senpai?" What was your answer, Matt?
Oh, I said kanji.
Yeah, me too, Vanessa.
I also said kanji.
I do not like to be a sex pest.
Mm-hmm. And if you say kanji, Yosuke's like, well, first kanji's like, "Oh, it's nothing that that
Yeah,
great."
he's like, it's not special. It's just a normal swimsuit.
Yeah,
but
it's a
okay,
bit-
whatever.
worn out in the crotch area. I'm like, all right, you don't have to brag there, buddy. It's just a normal Speedo. And Yosuke's like, "Why would you say that, man? That's so disgusting. Why would you ask about that? What's wrong with you?" I'm like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, Yosuke. Relax.
Yeah, Yosuke's gay panic has not improved.
I do wish they'd added the possible Yosuke romance, because this would make so much sense.
It would
Yeah.
make so much sense.
You know, also, can Kanji just be bi, and that just be part of his plot, is that he is into girls and guys, and it would be fun.
I think
And he could.
it doesn't go like, I know there's some stuff later.
But every time it gets brought up around him, he vehemently denies it.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck you all for bringing
Mhm.
this up to me. How dare you? It's a big bummer.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
So, where was I? Oh yeah, swimsuit. Okay, so you do watch the Midnight Channel that night, and it's perfectly clear. There is a boy standing with a video game castle behind him, and he's like mocking the viewer. He's saying, "Try and catch me," and
Mm-hmm.
I instantly recognized this boy because this boy was in the game before, twice at least.
Yes, I recognized him as well. Not only was he like in cutscenes, but you can also run into him if you're just walking around town talking to
Yeah, I
people.
recognized him as well, but I couldn't remember from where.
He got creepy fish eyes.
Yeah, he's creepy looking.
So Yosuke calls. He's like, "This gloomy guts is familiar." And Teddy, I love that Teddy's living with him. So he's like, hey, tell him he knows what's happening. And Yosuke's
Yeah. Hey, put me on the phone.
So Teddy explains that he knows what the TV channel is, and it's the suppressed emotions are resonating with the other side, and that is what is being broadcast. So it's like your suppressed persona is the unconscious, if you will. I've been watching those dumb classes, and there's a lot of pseudoscience in those dumb classes, but they're still fun. It's all about Jungian psychology. Have you watched?
What dumb classes are you talking about?
If you go, you know how there's the Persona TV option when you start the game?
Uh-huh.
If you go to that, you've probably unlocked, I think, 5 or 6 lessons. Each one's about 10 minutes long, and they're just little
Whoa.
classes on Jungian psychology.
Interesting.
Why is that a thing?
It's just giving you background as to what it's talking about. It's pretty fun. I recommend if you are interested in sort of what shadows and persona and stuff are, what they're referencing.
Is it like animated or is it like?
It's like a classroom scene. So like your normal classroom scenes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't. It's fun. I think they're informative. I mean, it's Jungian psychology, which is kind of pseudoscience-y, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's fine.
I'm interested in learning about the mythology of all of the personas. Some of them I recognize from Western mythologies, like Greek and Roman, but I'm really not that familiar with Eastern mythologies. And there's a lot of
Mara.
Hindi and Shinto and all of the stuff gods in it. So
And there's also stuff
Fun to
like it's
learn.
a mix of like Christian and Greek and Roman. Like there's Kazuzu, which I think is like an ancient Babylonian god.
yeah, but there are also all of the like angels and archangels and things like that, and several iterations of the devil.
Well, I guess Pazuzu, it's Pazuzu, and Pazuzu is like a Babylonian. I know Pazuzu was the thing that invaded the girl in The Exorcist.
Is that true?
Wasn't it Pazuzu?
Could have been.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway,
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Pazuzu. I've been using Pazuzu a lot, which is why I've been. I've made some pretty fun personas with lots of fusions and stuff, but I always go back and buy ones that I'm like, oh, but I want to, like, I fuse them, and then I'm like, but
Do you?
I want the one that I fused back, so I go back and buy them from my compendium. Because
That's funny. I don't register them at all, and I probably should because I get some weird shit on them.
yeah, once they
I'm
get
always
like,
just moving up to the next. I don't go back. Like I'm always just moving up.
I keep them all.
and getting
Like,
rid of the old
I'll
ones.
register all of them because sometimes it'll be like, oh, this one's got a really rad ability that I just want to have. Because there's the skill upgrade cards you can get sometimes that will give them like
Mhm.
super powerful skills that are super early.
Yeah.
And for Elizabeth's social link, you need to fuse special personas, so it helps to have a hefty compendium to draw from.
Right. I've got her bonus for having like the first level of a big compendium. I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still gotta go. I haven't done any of her quests yet. I'll have to.
So about this kid.
This kid. Oh yeah. So Teddy's calling. Where was it? There's no.
He says there's no one filming it. It's just like in people's minds. And does he also say that he thinks that the people who are appearing are people who the public is interested in?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
Spoilers. He says that later.
Chie calls and she's like, okay, let's get to the bottom of this. Because this is super different. So they go to Juness and they're like, okay, I'm pretty sure this creepy kid is the one who's being investigated by the cops. So he's probably the murderer. He's the one who's been throwing things in. And Yosuke is like, okay, if there's a guy, let's call him, for the sake of conversation, Matthew. And let's say Matthew has been throwing people into a TV to get knowing that they'll come out dead. But then finding out, like, the last couple he throws in don't die. Then Matthew's like, well, I want to kill this King Moroka, or King Moron, so I will just murder him in the real world. And that's why we didn't see him on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And I think we also know at this point that Moroka has like a actual wound, which the people in the TV didn't.
I don't know if maybe I just skipped over that or didn't notice that. So the other thing is, I was thinking about how King Moroka might have a hard time or showing up on the Persona channel because King Moroka doesn't have a suppressed personality, really. It seems like he lets everything out.
Yeah, that's true.
He is not holding much in. He is not
He
afraid.
could be insecure on the inside, though. A lot of people
Actually
who
do
are
think
really
he-
loud and terrible do that.
I mean, I do think he's a suppressed person. He's the type of person that is constantly running his mouth about how kids need to keep their legs shut
Right.
and fucking
That's
keep their
true.
dicks in their
That's
pants.
That is true.
Like, he doesn't say that shit.
There's a
It's
reason why he's
not
saying
being like
it.
a weird, suppressing some weird shit.
So they decide that they want to go inside the TV to find him, but they know they'll need more information. In which I I love this game. The part I don't like is this investigation phase where you have to find information on someone before you can go to their dungeon.
Yeah, it's irritating.
This is annoying.
It feels like a big waste of time, and I
this
feel like
one-
it's going to keep
yeah.
happening.
This one takes forever. I feel like it took me like a fucking week.
So I looked up how to do it because I didn't want to bother doing this for too long. So first you gotta like talk to Dojima about the investigation and see if what he has to say about the kid. And he's like, I'm not telling you anything.
But if he's not home, where do you find him?
He was hanging out on the street by like the gas station. And he's like, well, go find Adachi. Or no, I can't even. I'm so busy right now. I don't have time to talk to you. Where the hell is Adachi? You find Adachi, and he lets...
He's at Walmart, right?
At Japanese Walmart. And he lets slip that the kid has had a part-time job on the street. This is after you threaten him with telling Dojima that he's spilling all this info. Or that he's slacking off at Walmart.
Yeah, and like, I'll tell Dojima where your hiding place is. And he's like, oh, no.
So you talk to the guy at the store, and he's like, oh, yeah, there's this brown-haired kid. And then it's another day to go find the brown-haired kid. The brown-haired kid's like, oh, yeah, you want to find out about the crazy murderer kid I know, huh? Well, look, I've got copies of his picture because I'm so rad and cool. Here's his picture. His name's Mitsuo Kubo.
Mm-hmm. And Mitsuo Kubo was the kid who, on our like very first day of school, just showed up and asked Yukiko out without really knowing her.
Right. And he doesn't even go to their school.
He doesn't even go here.
So they all meet up at Junes again. Yeah, Yukiko's like, Yukiko doesn't even remember this, which is great. Everyone's like, you know, the guy that you shot down. She's like, I didn't shoot down anyone.
Yeah.
That boy.
Well, remember when it was happening, she didn't even understand that he was asking her out. He was just like, are you going to come with me? And she's like, no.
And this guy sounds pretty suspicious because he was always trying to chat up Rise at her tofu store and going on. Okay, so for a kid they don't know, they remember a lot about him. And they're like, oh, yeah, he's the one who really hated biker gangs. And Kanji's like, oh, everyone thinks I'm in a biker gang because that stupid TV show. And people said, oh, yeah. Yosuke's like, oh, yeah, I also heard how he hates women who cheat on their husbands and they should be executed, which does sound like people on Twitter. So this kid would love Twitter.
Yeah, maybe they like see him on Facebook or something like that.
I don't know. He sounds like a real garbage boy.
Yeah, he's not great. And he looks like a total creep with his weird fish eyes.
Mm-hmm. So they decide to go into the TV, and they look at the picture and then try to find him, and they do, and they get to his little castle, and this is maybe my favorite design of a castle in the game so far.
Oh,
Yeah, it's cool.
It's really.
I don't care for it that much, but I understand what they're doing.
It is a Dragon Quest style video game castle with really awesome retro music. Kanji does say, or Yosuke does say, oh, all guys love games. And Teddy says,
Sorry, go ahead.
And Teddy says, all girls love Teddy.
It's got like a pixelated 3D Dot Heroes style of animation. It looks good.
This
And when
like,
you start it, a box pops up that's like play, load, quit, or something like that.
And it's called Void Quest.
Ooh.
And there's some interesting stuff going on. It doesn't have as much story as the previous dungeons I found. There's very little story part to it. But I did like the retro game graphics stuff. Reminds me a lot of 3D Dot Game Heroes and Minecraft and what was that other game? Oh yeah, do you ever play the Strong Bad adventure game?
No.
The one that came.
No.
Oh, that game's awesome. It has like a retro N64 style area. It reminds me a lot of that. Like this was right when retro 3D started being a thing. It was really cutting edge for the time. And so it's pretty neat. And as soon as you enter the dungeon, you start seeing these game menus appear. And Vanessa, tell me about those.
Oh, they're so cute. They're like, well, the first one's just like play, load, and things like that. But then each floor you go on, you get like a little experience window. And it's like, You gain a level for killing an announcer. +1 cool. +2 popularity. +3 bravery or something.
But also, like, his mom, you like hear, it sounds like his mom talking to him about, you be careful out there, because you know those kids went missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shut up, Mom!
Yeah. You hear voices, but then also these menus about how he's leveling up. And he's just super into leveling.
So there's one awesome part where, well, a couple of times I think, that someone starts typing in, no, 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 ah, and it's like several screens of just, ah.
Mm-hmm.
So someone's really like flipping out and has like angry gamer problems.
It seems like. I mean, this kid is definitely a rage quitter. You'll be like on the server playing PUBG with him, and then when his health is like almost to 0, he'll just suddenly have issues and have to disconnect.
Well, it sounds like he's kind of building up his online persona.
I mean, you love that in PUBG because then they're out of the fucking game and you're like, see ya! You know, sometimes in PUBG you land right at the end of the line where all the AFKers drop and just stand there and shoot them all.
Ooh, I gotta try that sometime.
Sometimes you do that.
So you there's some it starts getting really weird. Like at one point a character asks in the menu text, how dare you stand against me for being a rotten orange? And then it's like Mitsuo's fighting Mitsuo, and then Mitsuo it talks about how Mitsuo's a hero, but then like starts going, Mitsuo, you're great, you're a hero, you're it just like goes off into garbage.
It's messed up.
I really like that.
Me too.
Yeah, it was cool.
So finally,
I liked that it was in these like Dragon Questy menus. It all like the whole time. It really is a weird, fun thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great dungeon.
So finally, you meet him, and what's he doing?
He's arguing with his shadow self, of course, just like everyone else is.
Mm-hmm.
And you sort of confront him, and you're like, what's up? Did you actually, like, kill everyone? And he's like, yeah! They're like, why did you do it? He's like, because they get on my nerves. And
Chie's like, which one is the shadow? And one's like purple and glowing and has like a booming voice. Chie, come on.
Yeah, but both of them are just like, we hate everyone.
They do both hate everyone.
Mm-hmm. And Mitsuo's like, I killed them all.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very proud of himself.
and then the shadow transform. He starts like getting mad at himself and is ignoring the evil version of himself. And the shadow, and he says, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill everybody, just like I killed those 3 people."
Mm-hmm.
And the shadow version of him hates being ignored and transforms into what I can only call an angry gamer baby.
Yes, it is an angry gamer baby. It's like legit a baby, and it's mad, and it floats in the air, and then it kind of builds like a Minecraft 3D style little guy around him.
It really does look just like one of the characters from 3D Dot Game Heroes or whatever it was.
Like that came out 2 years later. I don't know if it was they're both influenced by Dragon Quest and stuff, but it looks so much like 3D Dot Game Heroes.
Yeah,
especially like the stoppy animation. Like it's got 3 frames of animation.
Mm-hmm.
And
you have to kind of break these pixel blocks around him to get to the baby.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And the boss music here is so good. It's an 8-bit version of the Persona 4 boss theme, and I love it.
Yeah, it was great. You gotta kill that baby, though.
You gotta first you gotta break down the pixel character, which like guards the baby, and then you gotta kill that baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one just takes a long time.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly difficult, I didn't find.
It would get like 3 or 4 turns in a row sometimes, and it was really fucking frustrating.
Yeah, I did get wiped at one point because I didn't have any defensive spells on, and it just managed to I had the wrong persona equipped on the hero, and he was weak to the lightning attack that he does, and then he just killed me the second round.
When he does that, his turns consist of a little blocky Dragon Quest menu coming up, and there's like fight, item, and magic. And fight, he like whomps them with his sword. Item, he throws a bomb at them. And magic, he casts Giga Flame or Giga Flare, Giga Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a party hitting electric spell, but it's in that framed in like a box, like from a first person perspective, like an early Dragon Quest game.
It's
cool.
wonderful.
Vanessa.
So you do beat him. And once his shadow self is done, Mitsuo is like, I don't know who you people are, but I want you to know that I did all the crimes. I killed the announcer, I killed Yosuke's good pal, and I killed Maruka. I killed them all. And
I
please,
did the crimes.
Yeah, please tell everybody how I killed them.
Mm-hmm.
You haul him back to the real world and call the police, and they come to get him, and he's like, I killed everyone! Hooray for me!
I like that when you haul him back to the real world and Teddy's there, he's like, what the hell's that thing? What's going on? Where am I? So that's the first thing that makes me there's a couple of things that make me question it. One, how insistent he is that he killed everyone. And also
what are you talking about? Can't you just be happy that we solved the case?
But also that he doesn't seem to know how the TV stuff works.
Yeah, but he's addled from being in the TV. That happens. And I don't think that you should be so cynical. I think you should just celebrate this ultimate victory over the last boss of the game.
It's a really unsatisfying ending to the game. Because the killer boy is kind of a ridiculous, like, he comes out of nowhere. He showed up once and maybe you ran into on the street, but it's not like a good mystery, It's just like some shit happens and you're there.
That one really creepy looking boy did it.
But you say that you keep calling it like a Scooby Gang situation, but like they don't solve any fucking mysteries.
No, the cops find out who did it, and then they just go into the TV and get him.
They don't find clues. They don't like do anything. You know what I mean? All they do is go fight inside the TV.
Well,
yeah, this guy was not even on their radar.
He gave them all the clues, Vanessa.
What clues?
The snowman with
he asked out
hat?
Yukiko right before she got kidnapped, and that is all the clues that apparently we deserved.
He was always hanging out and being weird on the commercial area.
Yeah, he was on Central Street being weird. But I've seen other people hanging around being weird too.
I have to admit something, Vanessa.
What?
I was just making a reference to the movie The Snowman.
Oh, Mr. Police.
I should have called you Mr. Vanessa Man.
No, I got it. I was just pretending I didn't.
Oh, okay.
That's my secret, John.
And
I
for some
always get
reason,
your
this
bits.
episode ends with a fucking cook-off.
I love it. Iron Cook Inaba.
Yeah, they need to find a way to celebrate. Teddy's very happy because his world is peaceful. Teddy suggests that they should score with guys to celebrate.
Kanji does not like that suggestion at all.
No.
Because he wasn't there to get the joke.
Yeah, he doesn't understand that he's referencing Yukiko's greatest wish.
Mm-hmm.
But they decide instead to celebrate by having a cook-off.
Yay! They can go. They can go to Yukiko's inn, and there's hot springs there, and everyone can have a luxurious baths. And no,
but they can't because it's summertime and the inn is full.
Oh.
But they decide that what they can do is make something for Nanako. And Nanako decides that what she wants them to make is omelets.
With fried rice.
Which is probably a good idea because, as you recall, Chie and Yukiko are the worst cooks in Japan.
Speaking of harassing people, so they all go to Chunes to go buy ingredients, which is once again a nightmare, and I love it. And Teddy, meanwhile, is like harassing the Junes samples lady, but she's also super into it.
Yeah, he's great. He goes up and he's like, "Oh, miss, can I have a sample?" And she's like, "Oh, sure." And then he like points to something like in the cooler behind her, and he's like, "Can I sample that meat, miss?" And she's like, "Well, it's not like cooked, but you can buy it." And he goes, "But I want you to cook it for me, miss."
So is that one of the I want you to bend over and grab that, or is that just him being like super hungry?
I think he's super hungry. I think he just wants her to cook it
But
for
I also
him.
love. So this would be okay. It is problematic, but it is somewhat made a little bit better by her being like, "Oh, I couldn't possibly, but you're so handsome. But I have a husband and children."
Yeah, what are you doing to me?
He's just sparkling there, looking at her.
You incubus, get away.
How could you hate Teddy? I love Teddy so
Yeah,
much.
we sort of glossed over that Teddy has gotten some clothing,
Right.
just in case the listeners were worried. And the girls pick out for him like a crisp white shirt with a flower boutonniere
Yeah, he's kind of
and some
dressed,
slacks.
but it's like a ruffled shirt. It's like a pirate shirt, like Seinfeld wore in that one episode.
Yeah, it's sort of like a tuxedo without the jacket. And they do put it on Yusuke's charge account.
Yeah, he's very upset because Teddy has an expensive taste in clothes, and while they were shopping, he just wanted to go to the women's lingerie section because he's real horny.
Yeah. But you know what? Let him be. We don't even know what Teddy is. He could be 100 years old. It's fine.
Let's assume no.
Yeah, so the ladies are shopping for omelet ingredients. We see Yukiko and Chie discussing what kind of eggs they're supposed to get, and they're like, well, let's just get all the eggs.
It's omelet time.
It's omelet
You
time.
get to choose what kind of omelet to make. I chose to make a savory herb omelet. I don't remember what it said, like country or something. And I was like, that sounds good.
Yeah, like an omelet Provence.
You had some other options. The basic flavor that you could choose was ketchup, and I was like,
Yeah, I
"Ugh."
didn't go for ketchup because no thank you.
I made the ketchup one because Nanako is a child, and children just want to eat like nuggets and
That's
shit
true.
Like
That's
that.
true. That's a
Yep,
good point. I
yep.
forgot we were making it for Nanako.
Yeah, so I'm like, what would a kid like? She doesn't want fancy herbs. She doesn't want like foie gras or whatever. She just wants some ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of foie gras, Rise decides to make a very fancy foie gras omelet.
Mhm.
But she does put in a whole bunch of spice. She just poured the whole sriracha bottle in there.
That's why her omelet is pink.
Yep.
Mhm. And Yosuke and the other guys are going to taste the omelet first to
Mhm.
make sure it's safe for Nanako.
Mhm.
And they try it and refuse to feed it to
Yeah.
Nanako.
Yep.
Too spicy, they say,
yeah.
and also too disgusting.
Then they try Yukiko's, and somehow Yukiko's omelet doesn't have any flavor at all. Like, you can't even taste the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
That's right.
putting water or air into your mouth. And Chie's is just crap.
Yep, it's just awful. And I love that everyone tastes it and it's like, yep, that's awful. Oh, I also love Rise asks Yukiko to try hers, and Yukiko finally gets her comeuppance and does the fall over animation. With...
Yes, she spits it out and falls over. Nanako likes your omelet, though, and then the girls are feeling dejected, and Nanako, when no one is looking, sneaks a bite of everyone else's omelet. She tries Rise's, and she's like, I like it!
Mhm.
And then she tries Yukiko, she's like, I like it!
Mhm.
And Chie's, and she goes, I like it! Which makes me wonder if your omelet was actually good.
Well,
Yeah.
you'll never know because she ate the whole thing.
That's right, she did.
Yeah.
And
Then
there's
she
a
probably
festival coming up that everyone's going to go to. And the girls are going to wear yukata, which always in these Persona games, the one horny boy will get super excited about girls wearing yukata.
Now, that's like the full robe with the big bow and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're into it.
All right. But they...
Is it like a kilt? Like, are you not supposed to wear anything under it? Is that the idea?
I don't know. So it's not gun kata that they're going to wear. No. Or
No, gun kata would be amazing.
what about Jim Kata?
I'm not going to wear Jim Kata.
Jim Banks kata?
Yeah, so we're just we're preparing for the festival. Check the Midnight Channel. No one's there. Obviously, because we've captured the killer. We don't know what's going on with him, but yeah, case closed.
Where are we playing to next time, Vanessa?
Oh, you always ask me, and I'm never
We
ready
did
to
it.
answer.
I mean, we're playing to. This is the final episode. Case closed.
Case closed. We just have like the end scene with the festival, right?
And the beach episode.
And the beach episode, yeah.
I feel like next one's 2 months, but part of it like skims fast. I could be wrong.
That is true. Let me just pull it up. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me.
Man, I need to work out again. My muscles are shrinking.
My name is Johnny, and I work out. Yeah, the next one will be October 5th.
Wow. It's a month, 2.5
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
But
do
we-
you think we can do it?
I think we can.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
A lot
lot.
of that. A lot of it will just fly right by. You'll see.
Yeah. A lot of story stuff here, I have to assume.
Just like hanging out with friends.
Hanging out with friends.
And that's the
All right.
last chapter of the game, right?
And that's,
And
the
that's
last
the end
chapter
of the
of the
game.
game.
All
except
right.
for 2 more episodes. Or potentially 3.
What are we playing next?
What?
After this? We don't know yet.
Yeah, we're playing till October 2nd, you said?
We're
No,
at the
he
end of
means,
the
like,
game and
what
we don't
game
even
are we
know
playing
what game
next?
we're playing after it.
We don't know.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to figure that out pretty soon, I guess. Should we do another vote?
I think that was the idea.
Was it?
I don't know.
Was it?
We could do a shorty and then do a vote. Whatever you
Wait,
want.
Persona 4 is a vote,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No, it's not. Final Fantasy X-2 was the vote. And Disco Elysium was a vote.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
wasn't
we'll
this one at the
discuss
request
it.
of Jim or was it Vanessa? One of those two.
I
was
think
like,
all of
I
us
demand to play
all of
Persona
us
4.
really
It
wanted to
was
play it?
actually you.
No,
You were saying you demanded to play it, and then you changed your mind and didn't want to play it, but we had already gotten on board.
Oh, you're right. That is how it started. Because I was
That's
like,
what
ooh.
happened.
I like heard the name Persona 4 and was like, ooh, let's play that next. And then I was like, wait, no, I don't want to have to play more JRPG bullshit after all of this JRPG bullshit in Final Fantasy X too. And then I got outvoted.
Yeah, so maybe next time we'll look at a Western game or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe next time I'll pick the game.
We could do a
You already did this time.
we could do a Darksiders, we could do a Fable. Oh no, we can't do.
because it's
Yeah.
we could
Ooh.
do Fable too.
Fable
You know
or
what
a
else
Fallout.
we could do?
What?
We could talk about what we're squarely against.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, Nat, what are you squarely against, mister?
I'm tired of sex pests in this game. Okay? One of our listeners in the Discord used what I think is a great term, so I have used it 10 times tonight.
Mhm.
He said that Yosuke is a sex pest, and he is, and Teddy is a sex pest, and I'm tired of it, and it makes me nuts. And the game wants your character to be a sex pest. It gives you every opportunity
Mhm.
for you to be a sex pest if you want to be a sex pest. And I hate it. I
And
would like
so
to
is King Muroka, and so is Mrs. Kashiwagi, and so is the nurse. All sex pests.
That's what I'm squarely against. What about John?
I am roundly for all this Teddy. And Teddy's fursona is a bearsona. Sorry, Teddy's bearsona is amazing. And also I'm also so I'm roundly for that. I'm roundly for all the new attacks I've unlocked, like the Junes special, which is just this big Teddy bomb. And
There was a great one where I didn't have Yosuke in the party.
The
and It was
cavalry?
like the cavalry, and he came in on his scooter and ran the enemy over.
that was great too.
And I was like, thank you, Yosuke. That was very kind.
Yeah, I just love I do love Teddy's bearsona so much. Vanessa, what about you? What are you roundly for or squarely against?
I roundly for human Teddy. The first time I played this game, I was totally surprised and utterly delighted when he takes his head off to reveal a sparkling human boy inside him. It's amazing. I love how they talk about, whoa, I guess he grew a human body. inside
Did a
his
lot of
bare
push-ups.
body by doing his curl-ups
curls,
and
yeah.
things like that. So I just think it's great. I love it. I love him interacting in the real world. I love how Yosuke just takes him home to live with him because they don't know what to do with him. And they're just like, okay, I guess we're doing this. It's wonderful. Hooray for Teddy.
Now, we do have an email you can send emails to. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Oh, there is an email. Did you want to read the
There is an email. I want to read the email. It's a
Read
nice email.
the email?
It's from Travis. Travis writes, I'm a fairly new listener and I just finished your season on Persona 3, and I enjoyed it so much that it inspired me to buy Golden when it was released on Steam. Needless to say, I was super excited when I saw you guys were currently playing 4 for the pod. This is my first time playing a Persona game, and I'm loving it so far. The art style is great, and the music is probably my favorite part of the game. You know what? Then he just praises us a whole bunch. We don't need to talk about that. And then he says, keep up the great work. It's really helped me get through work in this bizarre post-pandemic world. I'm really looking forward to being able to play a game along with you all, and just remember, you are not alone. And I thought that was such a nice sentiment that I want to share it with our listeners. Listeners, we're all very isolated right now, but you are not alone in your isolation. What do you think
I live
about
in Florida.
that?
We're just partying left and right.
Yeah,
hanging
Florida's
out at
just having a
bars,
great time. Things are
going
going
to strip
good.
clubs, going to the beaches, going back to school. It's party time in the USA.
I'm not, like, thrilled with you living in Florida right now because it makes it real personal every time I turn on the news and they're like, by the way, in Florida, this has happened. And I'm just like, Matt.
There's also Texas, and that's
Yeah.
the other
where Jim
nightmare state
lives.
where Jim lives.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, Travis. I will admit,
we do.
I'm having a hard time with this. I'm having a hard time. Like, well, I'm okay. Like, I'm not going to go bankrupt or anything, but it's like I'm on a limited budget and it sucks and I can't work and that really sucks. And I'm feeling super stressed by being home and not knowing what the future is going to be like anymore. And I don't know, it's really hard. And I think sometimes I don't want to bum people out. I'm going to be okay. It's just really hard.
Yeah, it's really tough to be so isolated. I live in a duplex, and really the only people I see outside of family are my duplex neighbors, and we end up having like long conversations 10 feet apart because we're just like so desperate for human contact with anyone. It's like any living flesh person who you can speak to and see and be in a physical space with. It's really hard. And again, I'm lucky. I am very happy with my quarantine situation in general, but it's tough, and just the emotional toll is really tough. Matt hates it when we talk about serious things in the world, so we should probably stop.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I get it. It sucks for you guys, and I'm sorry that you don't get to live it up like we do here in Florida. So, one thing that we would like to talk about before we end the show is our Patreon. We have a Patreon. You can find it at patreon.com/squareroots. Or Square Roots Podcast, maybe. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. I'm a dummy. But we have 2 great tiers. The first tier is the $3 tier, where you get to listen to all of our bonus content. We do monthly bonus episodes about all sorts of things. Fun things, not fun things, serious things, stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly the things that John wants to talk about are stupid things.
Yep.
We do lots of modern games. We do other shitty retro games to make fun of. We do movies and rankings and spoilers and chat.
We're doing Disco Elysium this month, which is great.
Yep, we're all really excited about that. And next month we're probably going to do Fire Emblem...
Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
Tokyo Mirage Sessions. No, not really.
Maybe this fall. I was thinking we could do like a little game. Let's do it. We haven't done a Versus in a while. I'd like to do a Versus.
Yeah, a Versus with like something older would be fun, because that's easy to just play a few hours of and be like, that was silly and fun.
Yep. Yeah, I'll think of something fun for us to do, maybe. Or if you have an idea, I will play it.
Let's play Quiet Man again.
No.
Maybe it's aged well.
Nope.
How dare you?
Nope.
We also have a $5 tier that gives you access, of course, to those bonus episodes as well as voting. Bow, bow, bow. Voting's the big thing. A lot of people like to vote on the games that we're going to play. We do not ask for a vote on every game. We do ask for a vote on many games. Bonus episode games, at least 2, sometimes more, often more, main games per year. And come and check out our polls and vote for what you want to hear us play next.
He
Final
said,
Fantasy
check
Tactics.
out our polls.
And one of the benefits of being a patron, at the end of the episode, we read the names of all of our patrons, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. We'd like to thank Alexander Jokic, Cameron Shoei, Robert J. Defendi, Grayson, Hexagon, Chris Penyak, Cody Parker, Saving Sid, You Make Sulk Sad, Hudson Roth, Andy Best, The Pen Was Mighty Indeed, Rusty Kamada, Sean Walsh, Ethan G. Pearson, Sean Gonzalez, Enter Stanman, Citrus C. I wondered where that came from, John. Citrus C. Sergeant Spaghetti, Kiva Mosser, Christian Go, Mary Queen of Scoffs, Patrick W. Bears, Mitchell Jarman, Tracy, Andy Crossett, Jameson, Randy Pierce, Vanessa's Gold Taco Bell PS4,
Yay!
Dr. Fine, Say Everyone's Name, Still Just Cow, Stephen Paget, Ron, Cake Ninja, Brady A. Berman, Tracy Tanoff, Andrew O., Joseph, Mostly Rational Person, Matt Jorgensen, G. Bailey, Ari Kopavara, Kedekai, As God Made Her, Justin Ham, Grey Code, Rising Hopper, Ward Childress, Teddy is a Garbage Monster, Only Good for Nightmares, PJ Ends, The Bus Stop Sign That Even the Gods Obey, Seltzer is the Best Drink, Ch-Ch-Ch-Chie, Chris Wilder, Armand Hammer, Knopford, Samu Mitchell, Teddy is a persona non grata, Matthew Casterline, Reddit is Harold Lauder, Chie is Bay, Chie is B-A, whatever. Devin Sloan, Metal Gear Solid 1 in 2021.
Maybe.
Wonder Swan, Jordan McNeil, Kupo Coffee, Mr. Mallard, Wash in the Wind, David Shook, Eric Garby, Ryan Miller, Zachary Fire Ant Harbison, Alex Bear Pun Doulard, and Captain Awesome.
Jethro.
Oh, shit, we have a lot of patrons these days.
Andres Rivera, that one guy, David Pascal to Bumpkins, Florian Jonas Kramer,
Vanessa did
Adam
combine
Zimmerman,
yours and Jim's into one list.
Yeah, I figured it out, John.
Brian Pitt, Play Mother 3 or Quit Now, Frauds, James Hostetler. Thou art I, and I am thou. We bestow upon thee the ability to create Oscar Mayer, the ultimate form of the square roots arcana. Tom, Vanessa's fourth mom. Teddy is a little creep. Ben Davis,
loving
Jared
this list.
Collins, Sam Harrison, Race Jenkins, Galendo Hales.
Hales.
I think it's Galendo Hales, Andrew Leinart.
Oh,
No.
William Westgard, Benjamin Avner, Nathan Poirot, Tyler Petty, Christopher Highness, Beagle
Highness.
Saurus needs your help to stop the terror that is Amanda Douglas. Laurel of the Clairol.
yay!
Benjamin Sayers, Andy M. Sean. Sexy Grandma's boy toy is Robert T.
Vanessa's mom, Unessa's mom, Aaron Bachman, Miguel Torres, Jonathan Smith, Matthew Newland, Ross Hartley, Bree Girth, Bobby Midkiff 2 Golden, Scare Roots Dark Souls episode, please. Ooh. Stu Skeel, Robert Pullum, Justin Rash, David Green, Ashley T for terrific, Huxley Iguana, George Brady, Michael Crawford, Cyril the Wolf. Arr! OMG, What Is This Game? Paul Bursch, Jonathan Ellsworth, Soy Soda Pop, Chris Ryan, Gage La Charité, Anthony Gonzaba, Kevin Walter, Every Day's Great at Your Square
At your
Roots.
Square Roots.
Isaac Wright, Joshua Bennett, Andy Smith, Jake Dickerson, Chief Hazard Built, and Wedge Coon.
Send us an email. You know our email address. It's squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you absolutely cannot be bothered to send an email, please come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group, for smart, cool, very attractive people every day. Cool articles about gaming and discussions are posted. We do not allow gatekeeping. We do not allow ragers. Like ragers and parties is fine. There's no one who's gonna be a bad gamer, sad gamer, gonna bother you at that group. That's for sure. And tweet at us at Square Roots Pod.
And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. And thanks to Gill Studio for letting us use their cover of Time to Make History. Links to their Spotify and YouTube are in the show notes. And if you want to join our Discord, send us a message on the Twitter or on Facebook and we will send you a link.
Oh, yeah, I always forget that we have a Discord.
We do.
It's not super used, but we talk once or twice a day, usually.
For Square Roots, I am Johnny Brandon.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Vanessa, standing in for Jim Banks, and also, I'm Vanessa. Bye. Oh, that was very atonal, and I apologize.
It's a war out there every day. You can't hide from it. You gotta play by the rules, play it cool. Gotta laugh in the face of the sad disgrace. When your friends and foes look alike on the face of it. They miss their history, but they fight over placing it. Yeah, they fight over placing it. Hurried by the times, that's just how your life goes by. I know it's not your fault, you say, but there ain't no other way. So step on up to the plate. Meet your fate, walking straight on into the lion's lair. Step on up to the plate, 'cause this ain't no game. It's time to make history, Let's go! You sink, you fall, you break down, and you think you can't take one more round. But something almost evil keeps getting you up. Something angry, something deep, something stuck in your gut. Something telling you cannot give up. You cannot give up. So you fight the times. That's just how your lives go by. In corner we roll and ride. Take your losses in your stride. So step on up to the plate. And if you fall, get up, rise like a phoenix. That's your fate. Step on up to the plate. It's your last chance now. It's time to make history today. Step on up to the plate. Meet your fate, walking straight on into the lion's lair. Step on up to the plate, 'cause this ain't no game. It's time to make history,
And, yeah,
I watched the first 6.
I smell food.
Oh no, that's gonna be like Vanessa and I were last episode.
Oh, he's hunky.
We were so hungry last episode.
We were.
Bannon's making pasta out in the kitchen, so I'm going to go grab some of that in a few minutes.
Okay, well you can. I'm just
And
going
then
to
eat
talk
it directly into the microphone.
Oh no. Well, you're editing, so go nuts.
Oh, I heard it. I didn't like that.
What?
Matt's mouth noises.
Oh.
Jeez.
So
I'm sorry, but I didn't like it.
I do like topsicles, like regular, orange flavored topsicles are fine, but those ones that don't have a filling inside and are just red, white, and blue are the best
Mhm.
tasting topsicles.
Rocket Pops.
Yeah, but don't Rocket Pops usually have like a filling inside too?
I thought that they were just the red, white, and blue ones, and they're sort of shaped like a rocket.
Oh, maybe those are because it's like lemon and raspberry and strawberry. I want one of those now. Oh no, it's gonna turn into the last episode where we're.
I'm already having issues because I do have some cold pasta sitting on the stove, and I could go get it and put a little butter and salt on that and have a podcast snack. And Matt is sitting there eating his noodles. It's really a huge problem for me.
And I'm
moment.
talking about delicious topsicles.
Oh man, I already ate dinner. Oh.
What
I want some
listeners?
topsicles.
What are
Also, that's pasta, friends. That's not noodles.
listeners? What are your favorite topsicles? I'd like to hear. Write us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. And or pasta. What is your favorite pasta noodle topsicle combination?
So, do Americans eat a lot of noodles without sauce?
Not in general, but I prefer my noodles without sauce.
Wow, you're like
What
Abed
kind
from Community.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'll go with
sauce.
I'll go with an Alfredo sauce sometimes, but usually I'll just put some olive oil. I might mash up some garlic and mix that in there, or a little butter and salt. My mouth is literally watering. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to get my noodles.
Well, Vanessa, I'll just tell you about the sub I have waiting for me in the fridge, which is a Quiznos sub. It is the chicken carbonara.
What's his name?
Oh,
Anyway, so that was all. Vanessa is legitimately.
this is very hard. You can't
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
mute you, Vanessa. This is obnoxious.
We can hear Vanessa like hitting buttons on her microwave and God, that's not long enough. Vanessa, you need like another 15-20 seconds.
Does Matt still have me muted? Is that why he's talking over me?
Maybe. Matt, do
Does
you
Matt
still
have the what?
Vanessa muted?
No, I don't have her muted.
Okay.
All
Is she
right,
even at her
just
microphone
checking.
now? How am I supposed to know? The last thing I heard was the microwave.
I'm back. I'm back with my delicious noodles.
Oh, actually, Vanessa, I think I want to make some fried rice. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Like do a nice fried
Do
rice with
you?
like egg. Oh.
Yeah, but don't forget about your sandwich you have to
well,
eat.
no, that's I said tomorrow.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I don't want you to forget.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
My noodles were great, by the way. Thanks for asking. So
Sorry I didn't ask about your hot buttered noodles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says "Ask me about my hot buttered noodles."
No, I can't. I've tried to make omelets before with varying degrees of success. I've made some good ones. The recipes that I've went for ask you to put in way too much salt.
Oh, interesting.
I would say just put like a little pinch and that's it.
Yeah, just a little dash.
Just a tiny
Yeah,
little dash.
That's not enough salt, but okay.
My favorite kind of omelet would probably be like mushroom and Swiss. I just think that's a really good omelet.
Vanessa's seen me eat an omelet before.
It's true,
Mhm.
I have. I forgot about that.
I love omelets, and I love.
Did I have an omelet? I forget what I ate.
I know. I don't think you did. I think you
know
had like
that it
French
wasn't-
toast or something.
I swear to God, you've done this on the show before.
Okay, sorry. We went to Beth's, and I know we've talked about it on the show.
Yeah, you had like a 6-egg omelet though.
Yeah.
It was a chunky omelet.
And then we went for a 2-mile walk.
That's right. Got to walk off those calories.
Mhm.
Or the 2-mile death march in your case that I forced you to go on.
With my tummy full of omelet.
Yeah, that's not a good.
Nope.
That's not a good combination.
So how did they turn out?
6 eggs. That would kill a man.
He ate it all too.